Welcome to Stateside Gooners, an Arsenal FC show, the podcast where American Gooners get together to share insights, rants, and the latest on all things Arsenal. I'm Eric, joined by my co-host Matt, and every week we're here to break down the highs, the heartbreaks, and everything in between as we ride the Arsenal wave from across the pond. Here we dive deep into the nitty-gritty of what's happening on the pitch and beyond. Whether it's those nail-biting match recaps or the tactical decisions we're all debating, we're covering it with the intensity and passion of fans who live and breathe the red and white. From big-name transfer rumors to some of our favorite deep-cut Gooner trivia, we keep it real and relatable. So grab a tea, coffee, or pint, settle in, and join us on Stateside Gooners as we bring a fresh American perspective to our beloved Arsenal. Because win, lose, or draw, this is where our Arsenal family meets. And hey, if you're enjoying the show, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share it with your fellow Gooners. Your support helps keep this Arsenal conversation going week after week. Let's kick it off. Season 1, episode 41. And I started putting, Matt, our episodes, not video, not yet, but I started putting our episodes on YouTube.
Ooh,
So we are YouTubers.
wow. YouTubers. Finally, at last, I can tell my children, yes, I am a YouTuber.
Next thing you know, you're going to be a TikToker.
Well, let's not go crazy. Let's not get too nuts.
What a shitty freaking day.
Yeah,
Damn it.
what bad day.
I am really disappointed. I like we've had some bad days. This
Yeah,
was
but I mean,
definitely one of them.
you are really excited, thrilled coming off of a 5-1 victory, and then against, just a terrible, awful club. Come off that 5-1. Newcastle struggled their last couple of games at home. Think you might have something going, something cooking, but no, not to be had.
I'm going to do our menu on this episode, Matt. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about freaking
Do we
Newcastle.
have to?
I think we need to. I'd like to blow through it, but you wrote a lot of notes, and I want to respect your efforts.
Oh,
We're going to talk about the PGMOL because they have the Celly Police, the Celebration Police, are back, and I don't know why, but let's talk about it. We have your update on the women's schedule, so we're going to do that, and then we've got three quick, not so quick things. We're going to talk about what's Harry up to these days. We're going to talk about something that I read from Pedro at La Grove, and then we're going to talk about Dubai. And I have some notes from an article I read in the Daily Mail. So I want to give credit to these guys who did some work for us. And so let's kick it off. I mean, I think first of all, the Spuds joke
Yes,
is
we need a little levity
it
here.
was
Okay.
Gunners and Geordies against Spuds and Scousers, right? That's who was going to be in the final at Wembley. And I think Spuds are not going to win this game. But honestly, even if they did, they're not going to win a trophy again because they're not going to beat Newcastle, man.
They're
They're just
just
not.
not.
And they would
They
have to
just
play the academy team to beat the Scousers anyway. So,
so
I mean, whatever, because we lost in the semifinal too, and they're ahead 2-0. We were behind 2-0. So they
they
could
could
pull it out.
potentially do it,
They could
couldn't
pull it
they?
out, but they won't
Oh, that
beat
would be
in
dreadful.
a one-off. They'll get to the final and they're not going to win. So anyway, haha, that's funny. We still sucked on the day. Carabao Cup.
That's funny. Okay. Surprises for you, surprises for me.
Well, you wrote Joe Linton, and that
I
was a
was
huge
surprised. I
surprise.
had no idea. I mean, in preparation for this, I had kind of looked, did Newcastle have any injuries? I mean, we had looked for that, but we didn't see
I
anything.
thought we talked about that
And this
because
one creeped in so no Joel Linton. So last time, the first round of this tie at the Emirates, they were missing Bruno. So they were missing one of their two bullies for that one. Can you hear me?
you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So they were missing one of their bullies in both cases, and we're still unable to to dominate their midfield. I was very disappointed in that fact in both sets of this tie, both at home and now up at Newcastle.
Yeah, it's not good.
Just terrible, terrible stuff.
I thought we mentioned that Joe Linton was wearing a knee brace, but it's possible that I knew it and just didn't say it because Howe had talked about he was wearing a knee brace for the past week. He didn't play in their Premier League game against Fulham, and it was likely that he was not going to play, but there was a small chance in this game. And I guess we didn't say that.
Hmm.
I don't
I
know. I
didn't.
I I did know
I don't
that. Shame
recall
on
that,
me.
and I
Yeah,
missed it.
shame on me for not saying it. But
Yeah, I completely missed it. So
we
that was a
nailed
surprise for me.
yeah, we nailed. I mean, you and I were talking. I don't remember what we said last time, but basically the lineup that we got, you were afraid they were going to put
Ricky. Yeah, I
Ricky
was afraid they
in
put Ricky
instead of
in.
MLS, and then Gordon would get him down the right side, their right side. Didn't matter. Gordon came through. Gordon played on the left and came through and scored that goal,
Yes.
second goal.
Yes, he did. He had a goal and an assist, this kid. So we need to start paying attention to both him and Isaac.
You were
We
surprised, and there was a
play.
quote that you talked about.
Yeah, so I here's another third thing I'm surprised about. Nervousness. The team looked anxious at the back. And this is a quote from Arteta's press conference afterwards. It's true that today we've been a bit more unsettled, especially when the game became more chaotic and when they were very direct with their play. Normally we are much more composed. Today we lacked a bit of that and the game went away from us. So that's his quote on his team, which is I don't understand it. Maybe it's just something that happens to us whenever we play Newcastle. I don't know. And the last surprise, ugh, Michael Oliver gets to be happy. Oof.
Yeah, fuck
Do we
Michael
really
Oliver.
want that?
No.
No, that's a big surprise.
All right. So you wrote some big moments, four big moments.
Yeah, I've got some big moments written down here. So right out of the gate, Isaac scored a goal within 3 minutes of the start. It was chalked off to being offsides. That's a pretty big fat warning sign to
Man,
the defense.
he was really close. I mean, it was one of the ones that I would have been really angry if that was us and it was deemed offsides. It was close.
And Isaac has just been absolutely dangerous against us. And in the future, we need to figure out a strategy against that guy. Because whatever we're doing right now, completely not working. I don't know what it is we're trying to do against him.
I have a suggestion.
I do too,
What
but it's
is
about 150 million that can take care of
That's
that. But
it. Buy him. Buy
that's
him.
the price might have gone up after today, though.
We'll see. They definitely
But
don't
I
want
don't
to
care. It's
use
not
him,
my
but
money. I don't care.
yeah, well, that and the fact that, well, let's think about it. There's a slim chance that they're going to make the Champions League, and I think he's a guy that probably wants to play in the Champions League. He's also a guy that's never going to win a championship he may win trophies because they might win the Carabao Cup. I think they probably do, but he isn't going to win the league, and he isn't going to win the Champions League if he's not in it. So he's motivated probably to come to see us, but I'd rather have Sesko, maybe. I don't know. Sesko's not as proven here though. So anyway, third one,
Yeah,
second
so
one.
around the 20th minute of this match, Martinelli, so the referee issued a play on after Martinelli gets fouled right at the top of the D. Pretty vicious foul by Dung. He and the ball trickles off to Martin, falls off to Odegaard. And boy, Eric, given that the form he's been in, yes, I know he's had 2 goals in the last 3 games. That says something. I thought he'd have the confidence and be able to slam that ball home, but he just absolutely screwed that one up. Shot wide of the net, so it wasn't even on goal. So he didn't even force the goalie to make a save. That opportunity was very much like the Kai opportunity against Man City. Should have finished it. Should have been ruthless. Put us up 1-0,
What
and
happens when
then
you're
the
not
game would have been
ruthless,
truly on. It would
right?
have been well and truly on at that point. Yeah, we just not ruthless at all.
And what happens when you're not?
You are less Ruth.
Fair, but what
You
happened in this
lose.
case? He misses that shot, and then what happened?
Oh my gosh, immediately afterwards, Newcastle takes, I think it's straight away off of the goal kick. Guy puts it out to midfield. Isaac with a header. Gordon gets the second ball. Gordon plays an absolutely perfect pass to Isaac, who takes the ball sort of a little bit to his left, fires a bullet of a shot to the top corner. Luckily, the post is there to save it because Raya wasn't going to get that. Ball bounces off right to Murphy, and he's got an open net to hit it home in,
M-
and all of a sudden 1-0. So
Murphy is the right wing in this game, correct?
that is
And
correct.
so where's MLS? You said where's Gabby is what you're about to say, but where's Miles Lewis Skelly,
That I don't know either.
right?
I'll have to go back and rewatch that one to see
But the
where MLS was.
Yeah, but the point is
But
like
we're
he
stretched.
ghosted two
Shouldn't be.
guys.
Yeah.
And that second ball that we talk about all the time, there's
Hmm.
nobody there for the second ball. There's nobody defending him. There was nobody there to collect the second ball. And he has what's essentially a free run at that kick. So it just, that goal was a backbreaker because I don't know what made Martin miss. I don't know. I think he missed a penalty
Well,
kick recently,
but
and we've
I,
had
I have a
guys
suggestion.
missing easy goals, but I'd love to hear it.
Was it the ball?
Did he sky it?
Was it the ball?
Did he drag it wide or did he launch it
It was
over?
wide. It was
Yeah.
far wide, but
Um,
still, was it the
balls.
ball?
It was the balls.
It was definitely the ball. Come on. Blame the
Raya,
curtain is
we've
not
gotten goals
silly.
like this that was their second goal, and I would rather if there's nothing on, and every announcer in the world says it, every other team in the world says, "Why do you play out? Why do you play out? They're such a danger. Don't don't try to play every ball out. Sometimes you just have to launch it, and it's the safest thing to do. And instead, there's passes that, and one of them is Stone's pass to Akanji when he was basically in a position he had nowhere to go. We close him down, bang, 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 we get a goal. So he was covered. He tries to give him the ball and he gets pinched because he's covered and you can't give it to him like that. And the opportunity for him, sometimes when that ball goes to somebody in the middle of the field, they pass it immediately to their left or right, depending on if they're left footed or right footed, out to the person
Yeah,
near
they've got a relief valve.
near the sideline. And he that just wasn't there. And they pinch it and he scores the goal, quick pass, and Gordon scores the goal to Raya's. He would if he could go down into the right, but he was too close. And I don't. That's just the worst I've seen him in the 2 years we've had him.
Yeah, I've seen whenever you're going to have a goalie play with the ball at his feet, like we ask Raya to do, you expect to see one or two of these types of goofy goals throughout the season, or opportunities rather. I mean, I know that like last year, or the first season last year was the first season with Raya. He had a couple of crazy ones like this against Man City, but he was able to either they missed them, I think they missed them, or he was able to save it. So he didn't pay the price for those, but this time he paid a heavy
Well,
price
and the thing
for
is,
this crazy one.
in the first half, I believe it was Gabby made a pass trying to get out,
Mm,
and they picked it off. And I think it was Gordon, and he shot it wide to the left of the goal from his perspective. Otherwise, they would have had a goal on another one that was just the same, except it wasn't Raya, it was Gabby. So like we were just mentally off in this game. I don't know what was going on, but nobody was there. So I want to finish the rest of this because we're wasting a lot of time on a game that we don't have to talk a
we don't
lot
want to
about.
talk
But
about, yes.
so lots of bullying. I said it was going to happen. They're just flat track bullies, I called them, and they did all of that. And I think that you asked me in the warm up, are they a bogey team? Do I believe in bogey teams? I think is what you said. And
Yes.
absolutely, because some of the other bogey teams that Arsenal have had over the years include Stoke,
Bolton.
Bolton. Absolutely. Before Stoke, it was Bolton.
Yeah.
Yep. And so we've had bogey teams before. And right now, I mean, it's interesting to say that the top six, I think we're 18 games in a row that we haven't lost to the traditional top six, the other five.
Hmm.
18
Yeah.
games in a row we haven't lost. And that's incredible run, but we can't fricking beat these guys. And I don't know why, especially in Newcastle. So that's it. Why don't we run through the stats?
Stats are crazy. Arsenal 11 shots, 3 on target, 0 goals. No Ruth. Newcastle 10 shots, 3 on target, 2 goals. They had their chances and they took them. Arsenal had the majority of the possession, 68% to 32, but
Nobody
didn't do
cares.
much with possession, so who really cares? XG on this was 1.71 for Newcastle, zero point nine
Overperformed.
four for Arsenal.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, just not good. Not good at all.
Let's not dig too
Next
much
up,
into this, but yeah,
what's up for the men next?
Dubai, but let's do this in three quick things. And then we
Okay,
have the match against Leicester City on the 15th, and hopefully we're rested and
tanned.
tight. Tight. Everybody's connected, and we're mentally ready to go on a run like we had last year.
Mm,
It's a month later than we did it last year, but let's go on this run. We've been good in the league between, January and now, knock on wood. Uh, how about the Selly lockdown bullshit?
this is crazy. So why are we talking about this right now?
Yeah, right. Why now? Why after this Arsenal game, meaning Manchester City, do does the PGMOL bring? There needs to be. We need to come up with a better name than what PGMOL means. But PGMOL, why would they bring this up? What's the possible need for this? In the NFL, Matt, they fine players individually after the game if they make gestures towards the crowd that involve firearms. So they make, a shotgun or they make pistol or anything like that, two fingers pointing out, one behind the other, the hands, so that it looks like an AR-15 or something. You can't do that, right? And so they
No,
fine them. They don't fine the team, they fine the player, but there's not like yellow card where you don't get kicked out of the game for that. You just get fined. What about NBA players for making like the throat cutting motion, right? That's not allowed, or in college basketball. And then what about the bow and arrow? We see guys all over the world doing the bow and arrow sort of thing. So these type of celebrations, sellies, they seem inappropriate. And there was a player in the playoffs this year who basically scored a touchdown, laid down on the field and like did a one push up and then was doing like thrusting his hips in like a coitus motion, right? I'll just be polite about it. That's out of bounds, man.
yeah,
But here's
that's
what the Premier League said about celebrations. They said player celebrations could lead to punishment if they're deemed critical or mocking. I mean, there's a billion people on the planet who sit like in that position with their hands like that, and they're going to fine or they're going to have some sort of punishment. What about the punishment for Holland throwing the ball in the back of Gabriel's head? And what about him making fun of Lewis Skelly, which generated this celebration, by taunting him after the game and saying, "Who are you? Who are you?" So
right.
this kid scores a goal and probably had it planned, but I would
He's a
think he
kid.
didn't. I would think he didn't. There's no way he thought he was going to score a goal.
No,
There's no
absolutely
way he
not.
thought he was going to score a goal. So he
No
goes over
way.
and sits down. That guy was on him all game, all last game. He went over and did the thing, and they're talking about this. So they said some celebrations have been funny and entertaining, but there's a line. Yeah, the line is shoot the crowd or basically coitus with the field. And they said once it crosses over into mockery or criticism, then we would need to deal with it. Now, you know what? The player on the opposite end of that mockery or criticism needs to deal with it.
You bet. And I would go with who decides what's critical or mocking. One person's critical is another person's hilarious. Somebody's mocking might be really funny to somebody else. So it's hard. It's a difficult one to have a ruling on, and especially with these referees, these guys and their sort of Manchester bravado. It's never good. Never good for Arsenal, I can tell you that.
Theo
Any
Walcott,
celebration we do will be bad.
yeah, Theo Walcott, 100 goal scorer, said he wasn't afraid, Lewis Skelly, of Holland at all. And he wasn't during the game, scored the goal after the game, just wasn't happening. But Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher both said that they thought he was disrespectful. Disrespect because he did something. There are people all over the world that do the Ronaldo celebration, but nobody says it's disrespectful. But when he does the Holland celebration, it's disrespectful. And I don't understand that. What was disrespectful a little bit for me, and I put this on our social media, Blue Sky, and maybe some others, is what Gabrielle did on the first goal. You need to be graceful and gracious in victory and defeat. And so if I had one complaint about any of this, it better be that celebration rather than any of these others because you don't get a yellow card for that. You just get the ref going, we don't do that, guy. Act like you've been there.
Well, but the thing is, this I can see this is rife with corruption. You can kick somebody out now for a celebration. That seems to me to be pretty wrong.
This article also talked about Ndai. He got a yellow card after he scored the winner against Brighton and then celebrated by flapping his arms like a seagull. He got yellow carded for that.
Hmm,
Football, sports in general, is what? It's entertainment. The
you bet.
crowd, the crowd wants bread and wine. We want entertainment, and we're willing to pay a lot of money for it. Some of us on TV to watch it, some of us to go to games, whatever, what I mean, we're here, we don't go to London to go to the games, but that stadium fills up every
Oh,
week.
if only.
And you know what, Matt? Those goal celebrations, even if it's other teams celebrating against us and we get angry, that's entertainment, man. That is entertainment. Don't steal the joy and the entertainment factor out of this game.
You bet. That's part of the fun about the game. They've already taken a lot of fun out of it with VAR reviewing all the goals. So you never know if it really is a goal. So you celebrate half-heartedly a goal that you may get called back, and then what do you do?
Especially
So
if you're Arsenal.
always if you're Arsenal, got to double check those goals.
Well, we had a goal just to refresh everybody's memory where there was something that happened in midfield that nobody cared about. The ref didn't call it. 40 seconds goes by and Arsenal score a goal. And VAR goes back and looks at it and said, Odegaard made a foul inside the center circle 40 seconds before the goal. And it didn't get called. And it was, what do they say in VAR? Clear and obvious.
Hard, right? Clear and
It was
obvious.
clear and obvious error that ref on the field did not call that, and so the
Looking
goal
right
was no
at it.
goal. The
Yeah,
goal was no
looking right
goal,
at
and
it.
that's just
Yeah.
ridiculous. So anyway, that's too frustrating. I'm calling on that one. So I just
Yes,
think,
let's.
why did this? My question, and I would love to hear anybody's answer. Why now? Why after this Arsenal game against Man City do they bring this up when it's been going on for years with other teams doing the things they do? Vardy pointed to, they've got to win, and Tottenham doesn't. And he
Sure.
was showing the fans here, this is the title that we
Yes.
have. So I don't understand why this is the game because it's Arsenal. That's
That
why.
they decide to act
That's right.
because there have been plenty of other instances where they could.
Let's talk about Arsenal women. What's going
All
on?
right, happier notes. So we've got some upcoming women's matches. We're recording this Wednesday, so tomorrow, Thursday, the 6th, Man City Part 2. And one of those weird quirks of the English system and scheduling, they play Man City back to back. So they've got Man City Part 2. This time it's at home, it's at Meadow Park. All I can say is keep on beating Man City.
Who did we
That's
do
what I
this
want.
with last month? Didn't we do this in
We did this with Crystal Palace in December.
right in December?
The
Two different
yes, the
competitions.
men did
Yeah.
it with right. It was the I can't remember which competitions, but one of them was the Premier League,
And then we
just like it is in this case.
and then on the weekend we played the Michelle Kangs. Is that her name?
Yes, so we've got FA Cup, Women FA Cup Sunday. That game is against the London City Lionesses. It's just a fun thing to say. At Meadow Park. What do you know about the London City Lionesses? Because I only know one thing. Well, two. They play in the championship, their championship side, and right now they currently sit second. So they're very close to being promoted.
Yeah. There's one automatic spot, and I think that's it, right?
Playoffs.
Is there a
I
playoff?
I want to say that all I've seen is that there's one automatic.
I don't think there's a playoff, so it would be
I don't
really
think
nice
there
to
is.
see them come up.
It
I for,
would.
yeah. So hopefully they do it. I know we looked at this. We recorded on Monday night, and we looked at it, and I believe they had a game in hand,
They
but
did.
some teams behind them also did. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on. Cup game. So hopefully they win both instead of like we did, losing
Yeah, so got a lot of cup
back.
games
We
coming
lost
up.
back to back to back cup games. We lost FA Cup to United in penalty kicks. Then we lost both legs of the semifinal 2-0.
And then if we're looking even farther ahead, the 15th, so I guess that's Saturday, it's the Derby. Spuds comes to town. Emirates Stadium.
It can't be Emirates Stadium. Oh no, because we're at King
It's at
Power.
it's at the
The men are
Emirates.
at King Power to play the
You bet.
Vardys. Yeah.
It's at the Emirates Stadium.
Speak of the devil and
Sell that puppy out if anybody's listening. Sell it out. Get your ticket.
quick things. We do have three. I just don't know how quick they are. I called this one from the top to the bottom. So I said, "What's Harry up to these days?" And I bet everybody thought I was talking about Harry Kane, but I'm talking about Harry Redknapp.
Ooh.
So he was Premier League manager before, bunch of teams. He's back in the dugout, but not where you'd expect. He's taken over Tunley Athletic. It's a grassroots team that was dubbed the worst in England after losing all 26 games last season with a minus 137 goal difference.
How do you do that?
You lose by,
26 games. Oh
yeah, you
my
lose by 5
gosh.
goals average every game.
Wow.
He
Mm.
never he never heard Redknapp never heard of Tunley and even got lost on his way to the first session. He stopped a local for directions only to be recognized instantly. The guy on the sidewalk says, "What are you doing here?" And Redknapp's response was, "I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out." He says he's got his work cut out for him. His first game was an 8-2 loss, but hey, at least they scored, he said. His goal is simple. He said, win a couple of games. He's sticking around until the end of the season. Says it's certainly a tough job. Yeah, I've gone from the San Siro, Old Trafford, the Bernabeu, White Hart Lane, ending up at Kim Albion or Tunley. But anyway, I'm enjoying it just as much, he said. Asked if Tunley had its own Gareth Bale or Paolo Di Canio, Redknapp said they must do. I didn't see him, but he must be there somewhere, which is pretty classic Harry. So that's kind of fun. Matt, I read LeGrove sometimes. The writer is
Mm, yeah,
Pedro.
you're talking about this.
Yeah, so thank you to him for this. But speaking of PGMOL, he wrote a 6 point plan that proposes major reforms to improve the standard of refereeing in the Premier League. Create an elite Premier League referee body. So PGML is gone. Premier League duties are replaced with a new elite refereeing body run by an independent football executive, and the body would recruit top referees from around the world. And it may mean that they have to pay them more. And I think I would prefer paying more for whatever it is. If I have to pay more in the US for my TV rights so that we can have better referees that don't have biases, I would have that every day. And I would think that if ticket prices had to go up, but my guess is Arsenal specifically would pay whatever they needed to pay extra on their
Have this
120th
happen?
to
I
have this
bet they
happen.
would. I
Separate
bet they would.
VAR, separate organization. that's distinct for VAR, established to eliminate bias and poor decision making caused by personal relationships
Mm.
between referees so they don't back each other up on the mistake they made. And then focus on accuracy and automation. We've talked about automated offsides. Independent auditor for oversight. So another organization, a third party entity, monitors referee assignments, preventing conflicts of interest. Referees favoring teams they have links to, things like that. So complete transparency in decision makings, holding refs accountable for ethical conduct. Expand the referee talent pool. So as they diversify and globalize the workforce, but have people who are have more than we need, first of all, and then have sorry, hold on, let me click that, and then have that increases competition, right? And then paying more means that more people will be applying to get the jobs from all over the world.
Oh yeah, you pay more, you will attract the best talent.
Right. And then so making this high performance culture, just like the players, is going to make them want to perform better because you have to perform better, make fair decisions. That's going to make sure that referees are not putting themselves first in the middle of the game,
Mm.
and it's going to increase competition. I'm a better referee than you. And so I didn't make as many mistakes as you made. So you're going to have to go referee somewhere else because now we're going to take the best guy from somewhere else and bring him in, or woman. It doesn't need to be a guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that culture shift. And then the last one is accountability measures. So they need to be assessed on performance rather than tenure. And like I just said, underperformers get removed and we'll bring someone else from somewhere else. And if they have misconduct or favoritism or just bad performance, then that's it. They have to be dismissed. So I all of that is amazing. Kudos to Pedro from LeGrove for working by himself to come
Thinking
up with
that
this plan
through.
or working with
Hmm.
people. But that would be a more fair, more transparent, and professional refereeing system for the Premier League. And certainly it's the wealthiest league. We can
Yeah,
afford this. This league can afford
there's a
this.
lot of money in the league, a lot to owning these teams, a lot goes into that. And yes, you want the best referees to ensure the fairest outcome that you can possibly have so that nobody complains like we frequently do.
Right. You said something about we're going to Dubai. What's going on with that?
Yes, we are going to Dubai, aren't we? Tomorrow? Is that it? Yeah, we're recording Wednesday. They're going to go on Thursday. They're going to head out for 10 days of the air quotes warm weather training.
I missed it by a day. I think the last episode I said
Yeah, you
we'd go tomorrow, or
you
we'd
said
go
we go
Friday. We'd
Friday,
go on
give
the
it a day to
7th,
pack, I guess.
and they're going a day early.
Nope, no need to go back home after that loss. Let's just get out of town. I think that's the deal. Everybody excited to go get some warm weather training. I wonder who's going to be at that warm weather training. They're going to bring along Saka. They're going to bring along some of their. Going to bring along Benjamin.
You talked
Will
about he
we
needs
find
his
out?
tan.
Yes. How does he has to restore his? And of course, yeah. Arteta. Well, we did this one other time. We did this last year. And what happened after we did that last year? We came smoking out of the gate. I had a couple of 5-0 bangers and maybe a 3-0 in
We had
there
a
too.
6, I think it was,
It was
against
just
West
an
Ham.
unbelievable output from these guys after that, whatever, how many ever days it was last year. So we're hoping for that same bounce, right? Even more so.
Right, and we dropped 4 points in our final 18 league fixtures, and you know that even a tie against Aston Villa and a win on the draw game that we had would have won us the league, or
Sure.
just winning against Aston Villa. So I mean, that's how close we were. Just, but how can you complain about 54 points and we got 50 out of 54 and still lost? I mean, the year before we lost game after game after game and shot ourselves in the foot after being 8 points up. Last year we did the exact opposite of that and still lost because City was a
Dominate.
machine as they do. What else?
Well, the understood that the club are also aware that a break in the Middle East not necessarily going to provide them with the silver bullet needed to end that 2 decade plus wait for a title. Given Liverpool's impressive run right now, I mean, I don't
Right.
know. And Arsenal currently 6 points behind those guys. I didn't check today's scores. Was live today was the day Liverpool was playing.
So there's a guy that's coming, his company is going to do some work on our house, and he said he's a Liverpool fan and that they play tomorrow and not today.
They
But
play tomorrow.
is it,
I thought it was today.
I thought it was today as well, but did I lose you?
Nope.
No. You looking that up? Arteta
I
said it's been a super busy schedule with a lot of demands, especially on the players and with a lot of things going on. They asked him what impact a winter camp would have on his injury hit squad. And he said, you know, with them getting a chance to rest and the busy schedule and all of that, if they get the opportunity and they earn the right to catch Liverpool, that would be great. And he kind of left it there.
and it's actually next Wednesday is when Liverpool play their makeup game against
Right.
Everton. So the statement was by the time Arsenal play another league match, they could be potentially 9 points
That's
behind
right.
Liverpool. So right now, currently 6 points behind Arnie Slots, man. Mm.
We walked through not many episodes ago how we've played most of the toughest 8 games that there are in the league, the home games, the away games that are the hardest ones, and Liverpool still has 4 or 5 of those hard games. So we need them really only to lose 2 or drop points in 3 if they draw 3 of those remaining games, which is possible, and then we need to beat them. So,
You bet.
but we
We just need some things to happen so that we can get closer to them.
we can't lose another game. We can't draw another game. And I didn't earn they didn't build a lot of confidence in me with this back-to-back loss to Newcastle. So,
Yeah, I don't know, Eric. I got to chalk it up to the whole bogey team theory where you just have a team that you cannot figure out. It happens in all sports. It happens everywhere. There are just inexplainable results, inexplainable performances that happen against certain teams, and you just don't understand it. You really don't, but it happens. So let's hope we've gotten the last loss out of our system.
well, we don't have any more cup games.
Yeah, this
We're out of the FA
domestic
Cup.
cup.
Yeah,
No more
domestic cups.
domestic
No more
cups.
domestic cup games. We've got a little bit of a break.
We've got Champions League stuff coming up. We're gonna get Saka back. All kinds of good things to look forward to.
One game at a time.
Yeah,
One
see what
one
happens.
focus at a time. Let's see who we get in the UCL, but next up is focusing on building that squad strong mentality
Rodri.
that we had last week, and we gave it all back, or we gave a good chunk of it back. I don't know where it went, but
Yeah, you just hope this doesn't take the wind out of their sails. They responded well to these cup defeats in the Premier League, so they can do this.
yeah, and we have a nice run in the Premier League. We have a nice run at home. We have a nice run against top 6 teams. So, the idea that we can beat Liverpool or at least not lose, is valuable. But one game
Yeah,
at a time. So
yeah.
we are going to connect again on Sunday, and we've got some non-game things to talk about. We will talk about the women's game, but then we've got some other interesting outside topics, and that is my dog trying to get in. So I am gonna,
Ooh, you better
yeah,
go.
I'm gonna go.
Get in or get out. Okay.
She's trying to get in.
We'll see you later.
See ya. Bye.
Bye. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to Stateside Gooners Arsenal FC show. Every episode, we bring American Gooners together to dive into the emotions, the tactics, and all the action on and off the pitch. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe, share it with your fellow Gooners to keep the Arsenal conversation going. Until next time, from across the pond, this is where our Arsenal community meets. Win, lose, draw. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everybody.